We cannot protect something we do not love. We cannot love what we do not know, and we cannot know what we do not see, or hear, or sense. Richard Love. Thank you, Madam Chairperson, Honorable Judges, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow 4-H members. For as long as I can remember, the outside world has fascinated me. I've loved knowing how each little species on the forest floor works together. I've learned from my mentors that if we are not connected to nature, we have no desire to protect it. It was through listening to the radio with my dad and reading that I learned about the extinction of Yellowstone wolves, how their extinction impacted over 2 million acres of beautiful national forest, and how their return brought back a balanced ecosystem. Folks, how important is our stewardship of all living things? Yellowstone Park is over 2 million acres of mountain wilderness, geysers, flora, and fauna. Man, I do hope to visit this beautiful place one day. As agriculture grew closer and closer to the park rangers were paid by the American government to eliminate the wolves, who were threats to livestock. As the wolves were slowly killed, their population began to decline. By 1926, no gray wolf packs were left. At the time, nobody was really thinking of the delicately balanced ecosystem and what impact the missing wolf population would have on the park. They were just happy to have their livestock safe. My family and I think of these things here on the farm. We would love to rid our farmland of that pesky fox that threatens to kill kittens and chickens to feed its young. In the 70-some years that followed, the entire Yellowstone ecosystem fell out of balance. With no wolves to keep the elk population down, it was not long before the elk increased from 4,000 head to 20,000 head. No predators meant that the elk and deer were free to graze wherever and whenever. All those tender little willows and aspens that held the beautiful riverbanks in place and provided homes and shelters for songbirds and beavers were slowly eroding. The landscape was suffering, and the biologists could see that something needed to change. I often wonder, what if we got rid of that pesky fox that keeps killing chickens? What impact would it have here on our land and animals? Would the weasel take its place? In the late 1900s, an attempt to reverse the damage done to the park was in the works. By 1995, the government had a plan to reintroduce wolves back into the park. On January 12, 1995, the first 8 gray wolves made the long journey from Jasper National Park. Our beautiful Canadian wolves became the first wolves to roam Yellowstone since the 1920s. It is estimated that 528 wolves reside in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem today. Not everyone was happy about the reintroduction, but it did not take long before the change was obvious. Over time, animal populations stabilized and the end to overgrazing stabilized riverbanks. Rivers recovered and flowed in new directions. Songbirds returned, as did beavers, eagles, foxes, and badgers. It was an amazing transformation, and this fascinating tale of life's complicated interdependencies will be used for years to teach others, I am sure. The killing of the wolves changed the ecosystem, biodiversity, food chain, and the habitat. Thankfully, the reintroduction reversed that damage. I guess I don't need to tell you what we decided to do about that fox. All the lessons we have learned in this real-life example of wolves in Yellowstone are offering a direct link to how we should be caring for it. I challenge you to get connected to your landscape. Watch it. Listen to it. Sense all its feels so that you have a deep affection for it. And then, your greatest desire will be to protect it.